Welcome back to the channel. In the last video, I continued on with the subject of healing and how this relates to positively and negatively polarized entities as a balance that sources pre-planned into universal law. I also discussed how this relates to the personal quest for a physical bodily healing. Today, I feel the need to return to the current world scenario and what we can expect to see happen in the near future. The information I'll rely on comes from the alternate news providers. Just check out the inserts on the screen. As I usually do, I invite you to visit these sites and subscribe to their respective channels on YouTube and Rumble. Both these gentlemen are worthy of my ardent praise and admiration for doing an outstanding job of revealing the truth about the mainstream deception that keeps the truth from leaking out to the general public. Please support these two ministries. I will label this talk the TFF, or the fear factor. And as you will recall, I have on several occasions made this abundantly clear, encouraging all my viewers to not allow fear into their thoughts. That is, it is the element of fear that plays a huge part in negating any good intention of exposing the enemy's plan for humanity's complete subjugation through mind control. You'll be able to glean from the background insertions that there are whistleblowers who, at the risk of their own personal well-being, are willing to show their faces on TV so that humanity can understand how it has been duped into settling for a system that keeps it in the total control of the elitist money-making machine that has cashed in on humanity's ignorance of the real facts. You'll also see the major company that has benefited from our compliance with this mind control machine's tactics. You have to admit that the products produced by this nefarious criminal organization do not contribute to the cure of any health condition, but merely to the relief of its symptoms. And so individuals decide that if they cannot obtain a cure, then they can at least settle for symptom relief, a relief that does not last but needs to be applied every single day. When I first understood how humanity came to be in this untenable position, an almost uncontrollable anger flooded my mind. But then I realized that anger is just another form of fear, which is the principal illusion the enemy is using. Because fear keeps everyone in a state of confusion, thinking about the consequences of stepping out of line when anyone bucks the elitist-inspired system of enslavement and control. When fear is in control, the individual is thinking about how they can protect themselves and what steps need to be taken to avert potential financial disaster. The latest news, current at the time of the making of this video, is the failure of the banking system. I alluded to this in video number 18, which aired on the 7th of March 2023. All sorts of advice as to what you should be doing with your money are being offered by well-meaning experts. I've been wondering as to how I can protect the little bit of savings my wife and I have managed to accumulate. Do I move into precious metals or cryptocurrencies, etc.? And it's quite a nerve-wracking rabbit hole to contend with. When I asked my higher self as to what should be done, the answer was an astounding nothing. I could not quite comprehend this lack of appreciation for my financial well-being. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized that this might just be good advice. I've covered the far-reaching control governments, when declaring a state of emergency, have at their disposal and can usher in legislations to confiscate any money we have, no matter what form it is in, or change the existing rules that govern our use of it. I'll return to this last statement at the close of this video to bring a perspective as to why we should not do anything. And that is not to say that you as a viewer should follow this advice. What you do with your money is entirely your affair. But when I share my higher self's reason for doing nothing, you can then at least understand why it might make some fiscal sense. Another area of a fear generation by the elitist machine is the false flag alien attack we have heard about from many of the alternative news providers and whistleblowers. The most recent allusion to this came from the mainstream news media in the form of air balloons that are being used to spy on Western countries. These contraptions were actually called UAPs, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, the new name that is now being used by those who see aliens as a threat. I'm sure everyone laughed when the balloons were dubbed as an alien threat. But wait, this was just meant to draw your attention, to lull you into a state of complacency. I mean, who would see a balloon as a threat, right? But the real threat is still to come. The next part of the plan is to use man-made UFOs to attack communities and commercial airliners on a seemingly random basis. Yes, the deep state has reversed engineered craft that fully resembles the alien craft, which can outmaneuver any modern jet fighter that our modern military has in its arsenal. This is a scary thing for anyone to witness. And when it takes place, most people are going to believe that we are actually under attack from an alien entity. I'm reminded of that speech made in 1987 to the United Nations by President Ronald Reagan, when he reminded the delegates about how quickly our internal differences would disappear if we were to be attacked from an outside, off-world alien force. I'm not sure if Reagan's words were some sort of pre-planned announcement of the deep state's intentions, but they certainly have an aptness aspect that highlights the potential for such an advent that we now understand could be on our doorstep. I'll now return to my earlier remark about why nothing might be achieved by trying to protect your investments. The reason for this is that we are facing a change in the way a world economy will work, whether you consider this to be the deep state's version or more poignantly the new golden age of consciousness evolution which has been foreseen by ancient cultures. The cusp of the age upon which we all stand. The age which has in some ways already begun but has not yet been experienced. Money will not be a feature of this new economy. However, it will remain in a digital form should the deep state's version be realized, and if it is, it will only be for a very short period before the golden age becomes a reality. It surely will. In my book, The Extraterrestrial Phenomenon, I give an expose of post-disclosure blueprint, a potential system manned by human and extraterrestrial delegates, and how this might work. The gist of the idea is that when the Golden Age is in force, humanity will partner with extraterrestrials, those of the Intergalactic Confederation and the Galactic Federation of Worlds. We will, together with our ET partners, govern human planetary affairs. Our status on this committee will be from the position of ministry and not a paid salary. Get my book if you're interested to see how this might work. There'll be no one making a quick buck here or there on any type of transaction, because the profiteering mindset will no longer exist. The almighty buck will no longer exist. What a blessing. Can't wait. The truth in all this is you might lose your money or your investments because there will be no place for them in the new dispensation. You will have no need for them because all needs will be provided for. The Wicked Enslavement Forum promised this, if you remember. You'll own nothing, but you'll be happy. The caveat, however, is that in the deep state's version, your life will be totally under government control. But in the golden age, you will have complete control over your own life and your affairs. Well, that's all we have time for on this expose of Spiritually Conscious Soul 101. But before we close, please remember to hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons below. It is vitally important that should you resonate with this message, you encourage others to subscribe, and in doing so, keep this channel active and relevant. If you would like to leave a comment, please make use of the comment section provided below. Thank you for watching my channel, and be sure to catch up with the latest version and material on the next viewing of Spiritually Conscious Soul 101.